or you can really kind of blend it out and make it lighter. That didn't really blend out very well. Hey guys, welcome back. So I've got another top 5 video for you today. Today is going to be my top 5 favorite bronzers. So I've got a couple of drugstore, I've got some high-end, so kind of a hodgepodge, but these are just my go-tos that I absolutely cannot stop using. So let's jump into it. First is one from Jane. This is the bronzing powder in Inspire. And this is just a really beautiful, kind of like satin finish sort of a bronzer. And I love this because it's really forgiving for really fair complexion. So it can be really challenging to find good bronzers if you're really fair. And I'm pretty fair, and I know that there are people that are even more fair than me. So if you have a really hard time finding a bronzer that works for you, maybe try this one because it really is a great option. It's pretty warm, but I don't feel like it transfers like that on my face. I feel like it looks very natural on the skin, and it doesn't look orangey. It just, you know, bronzes up your skin, gives you some color, which is probably what you're going for with the bronzer. So I think this is a great one, and it blends really effortlessly into the skin. Great formula, just a beautiful color. Next is one from the Sephora collection. This is the Bronzing Face Powder in Fiji Medium 4. This was kind of a surprise favorite for me when I first got this. First off, I think the packaging is pretty, and I like that it has a pattern in it. This one is kind of like a mid-tone, more on the taupey side, just a very more like cool toned sort of a bronzer, but it has like a little bit of a satin sort of finish to it. I feel like it's just a perfect do-it-all bronzer. I think that you can get away with contouring with this one. I think you can bronze up your skin, and it really can be built up to be darker like that, or you can really kind of blend it out and make it lighter. That didn't really blend out very well, but take my word for it, it blends out. And then it just looks like really natural on the skin and really beautiful. There, I got it a little bit, I think. Can you see it right there? Yeah, it's a little bit more blended out. Am I a little bit more convincing now? I don't know. But anyway, it's a gorgeous powder. It's a really kind of like do-it-all sort of powder. Like I said, you can contour, you can bronze with it. It's a great kind of mid-tone color, so it's not too warm, not too cool. It's just great. One of these days, I'm gonna decide to finally use this up, and I'm probably gonna be pretty sad about it. This is NARS Laguna, and I mean, literally, I might as well not even show it to you, because it's pretty much a pan at this point. But there's like a little bit hanging on in the corners. But this, I don't even know if I can show you a swatch of it because there's so little left. This kind of reminds me, not really in color, but sort of the same idea as the Sephora Fiji, in that I feel like it's kind of like a do-it-all sort of bronzer, but this one is a little bit warmer, and it has a little bit, I feel like it has a little bit more of a sheen to it. But this one, I know that, you know, some like really famous makeup artists use this to contour too. So it looks like it wouldn't work for a contour, but I used it all the time as a contour, for sure. And I would bronze up my skin with it, contour with it. It just has a very kind of like skin-like look, especially if you apply it lightly. I feel like sometimes a bronzer with a little bit of a sheen, just a little satin or a little tiny sheen to it, I think it almost looks more natural than something that's matte because, I don't know, it kind of like catches the light a little bit, just gives your face a little bit more dimension. So this one is such a beautiful one. It's pricey. That's why I haven't used the tiny little bit that's left in the corners still, because I'm gonna be sad because I love this one so much, but it's probably time. This one has gotten quite a bit of attention on YouTube, and for really good reason, because this is a really good bronzer. This is a Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and it comes in light bronzer and bronzer. So I have both. I like both, but if I had to choose between the two, I would say go ahead and go with bronzer because it's still pretty light. So light bronzer is really light, but bronzer is still pretty light. So you can see it in the pan. It's really beautiful packaging. It's bulky packaging, but it's pretty. And this bronzer is just beautiful. It is a really nice kind of like medium toned. It's not super cool, it's not super warm. It's kind of like right in the middle kind of a color, and It's just got a beautiful texture to it. Smells nice, kind of has like a coconutty, perfumey, slightly chemically smell, but it's still nice. But the texture on this is so nice. It just like blends into your skin, becomes one with your skin. It looks beautiful. I use this for bronzing up my skin. I use it for contouring. It's just kind of a great do-it-all sort of bronzer, but it just looks so natural on the skin, and the texture of it is really what makes this so special. So this is a great bronzer at the drugstore, but also putting it in the category of all bronzers, it's just great. And then lastly, my overall favorite, holy grail, couldn't live without it, love it so much bronzer, is my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. And this is just the original. This isn't milk chocolate, this isn't the dark chocolate, this is just Chocolate Soleil. This is the bronzer that, you know, those days where it's just a routine day where you're not like trying out different things, you're not really like thinking through your makeup, you're just grabbing for things that you know you love and that you know work for you. This is the bronzer for me. This is what I always reach for. This is a matte bronzer, and I remember when I first saw this and like was first thinking about it, I thought it wouldn't work for me. I thought it was gonna be too dark and just like not work for my skin tone, but it does. I feel like a lot of these are just not showing up in swatches, but I guess that's really good because you don't want them to be like an eyeshadow. You want them to blend into your skin and look like, you know, natural bronzy color and contouring. So that's what's happening with these. But anyway, I got it built up. So there it is there. Just a beautiful matte, kind of mid-tone, not super cool, not super warm, sort of a bronzer color, but it's perfect for contouring because it's matte, but also it has just enough warmth to it that I think it works really well for bronzing up your skin too. So that's why it's like my go-to. I mean, I contour with it, I bronze up my forehead, I bronze up my neck a little bit, I do it all. It works for everything, smells amazing. It has that like cocoa chocolate Too Faced amazing scent to it, which just makes me happy every time I use it. So this is just my go-to, never fail me bronzer. Love it. All right guys, so that wraps up my top 5 favorite bronzers. So hope that you really enjoyed this video. Please hit a thumbs up if you did, and let me know down below what some of your favorite bronzers are. I always enjoy hearing your favorites. Ask me any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!